So I would love for you to describe this program that you created. How does it work? What does it look like? What do moms need to do? What do they get out of it?
Sure. So it's all online. It's a program that we offer every other month.
Okay.
So it's cohort based. So you and a group of other special needs moms who want to balance their career, whether that means, working a 9 to 5, or working on like a small side hustle while your kids nap, are together. So you have kind of a tribe of people who are doing it privately, writing messages to each other. There's 4 weeks of course content, and it goes over things from, kind of shifting your mindset to logistics to talking about leadership and opportunities for leadership, and then also about building your community, which I know, obviously your organization is all about. So it really kind of gives moms a chance to look at the lessons, read through them. There's a journaling prompt at the end, and for moms to just talk to each other and strategize. And I know when people hear course, they think, oh gosh, is it going to be a lot of work?
Sure.
This is really just designed just for you. It's just time to reflect. So it might take maybe 15, 20 minutes a day to go through the lesson.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's almost like sort of like a journaling prompt and something to think about, and gives you that opportunity to take a breather and think okay, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want to design things? How can I make things a little bit more efficiently? How can I delegate a task so that, I have a little more space for me and the things that I want to do.
So how many typically are in a cohort?
It can vary depending on the, month.
Sure.
But we've had anywhere from 8 to 12, and there's no actual limit. We also offer scholarships for moms. So on a limited basis, because we understand the program costs $199, and a lot of employers cover it actually already. Particularly a lot of larger law firms offer it as a maternity leave benefit. But so we offer these scholarships. So moms who are interested, who may not be able to afford the program, can fill out a scholarship application and be welcomed into the program. So.
Okay. So do you have a particular audience? Is it moms who've had big careers, or side careers, or sales, or any particular area, or is it just all over the board?
So we've designed the course to be flexible to appeal to women of all different career sets, including moms who've taken some time off and want to create something new. Because we all know, especially in cases where we have very medically fragile children, your career may need to change. So we really acknowledge that and try to be as inclusive as possible. The course is designed primarily for mothers of infants and toddlers. However, if you've taken a long time off of work and your child is school age or older, you're still going to find most of the content is going to apply to your situation. So we've had some moms who have kids who are 7, 10, even older, who've still found a lot of value out of the course. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's good to hear, because I'm sure there are moms in all stages that either want to or need to go back to work.
Absolutely. And we really try to give moms the tools so that they feel empowered. So they feel like they found their community behind them, that they've gotten their support, and that, they're not alone. Because I felt really alone when, I was faced with that situation where I felt like the messages I was getting was that, of course you're going to be a full-time caregiver. And, I still had parts of my identity that parts of my education and training that I still wanted to keep that piece of me. And so finding a way to do that and still be a primary caregiver, for me was so empowering. And it's something that I want every, mom and dad to feel like they can have that too.
I think that's great. And I think that inspires other moms, absolutely. I think, moms get judged because they work. And
yes.
that's, we talked about that in Mom Guilt episode, last one. But I think if you're a special needs mom with a medically fragile child, then everybody automatically assumes that you're going to be there around the clock 24/7. But I'm a big believer in a strong sense of self and identity, and I think, when you are fulfilled as a mom, I think it permeates into the family. So absolutely. If that is something that you and other moms, and I'm working now too, I think it's okay, and I don't think we need to apologize for it.
I totally agree. I think there's sort of this trope in our culture that special needs moms are saints. Or supposed to be saints anyway, right?
Right.
And I'm certainly not.
Me either.
I'm sure you are.
No, ask my family.
But mental health is so, I'm preaching to the choir here, but mental health is so important.
Yes.
And, you know, as moms of special needs children, we're so more at risk for depression, anxiety, PTSD, especially for those of us with long NICU stays. And all of that can actually make us less capable caregivers, right? So I think knowing that, getting the help that you need, and also making sure that you carve out things that are for you, whether that's a career, whether that's a hobby, whether that's, you know, friendships, relationships, you know, really making space for that is going to be really important. And it will cascade to the work that you do with your kids, you know, when you are more present, more engaged. And that's something that I've, you know, learned pretty early on, and I'm very grateful to learn that. But I've, you know, known moms who've had to learn that a little bit later on, and I know it can be really, really painful.
I want to go back to, you know, that little tension that, you know, you might have felt about going back to work. How did you override that? Like, what helped you do that?
I mean, I still struggle with guilt, like everyone.
Okay.
And balance is still a work in progress. I'll be transparent about that.
Of course.
I think, you know, one of the great things about having twins is that you always kind of feel like you're never giving them enough, right? Like it's always going to be like that. You never at the end of the day think, oh, I was a perfect mother to both twins. So I think that kind of helped. I think also as I saw, you know, as I took on consulting projects or freelancing projects that I really, really cared about, I could see how much it energized me, how much it gave me life, and how that was really helping me be, you know, the kind of mom I wanted to be. And I think over time, you know, I still have the guilt, but I kind of was able to kind of turn it down like a dial on the radio, so it's still there, but it's not as loud, and I don't let it dictate all of my choices.
Good. Well, and had you not created this program, you are helping so many moms. So thank you.
Oh, thank
you very much. And it's lovely that she's offering scholarships as well. I think that's really fantastic. Do you find that the moms who are doing the program, moms that are more in the category of wanting to go back to work or needing to go back to work, or is it just a complete mix?
It's a complete mix right now,
Okay.
And I think that's something we need to acknowledge too. I mean, we're talking about identity and feelings of, you know, wanting to get that challenge and stimulation of work, but there's a lot of cases where, I was raised by a single mom, you just need to work, you know, you need the health insurance, you need to pay your bills, you need to keep the electricity on. So I want to be really sensitive to that because that's a huge thing for most parents. And we really wanted to make the program easy, simple, so that you could do it on your own time for those moms, you know, who don't necessarily have, you know, much time in between caregiving, full-time work schedules, etc. So, I think that's really sometimes the most loving thing to do as a parent is to go out and make money for your kids, for your family, you know, to get health insurance for your family.
Yes.
And I think we don't talk about that enough.
Well, I'm glad that you are. Thank you. And I think all the single working moms or even married working moms appreciate that. Absolutely. You wrote an article about how, and I just think this is fantastic as well, about the skills that you gain as a special needs mom are employable skills. They're valuable skills. And I would love for you to talk about that because I think that will be empowering for our moms to hear, because whether they decide or need to go back to work at some point or not, I just think it's really empowering to hear about personal and professional growth that they don't even realize that they're gaining by being a special needs mom.
Yes, this is something I'm so passionate about.
Good, I'm so glad you want to talk about this.
Of course. So one of the things that as I was kind of going through my own journey was this sort of idea, along with the kind of trope about moms being, special needs moms being saint, is that we are somehow less desirable employees. That because we need flexibility, because we have additional challenges, that somehow we're going to be less focused at work, less able to perform the tasks that we need to do, that we're not going to be able to do leadership opportunities. And kind of going along and going through the journey of being in the hospital, dealing with medical system, education system, all the things that we have to do, I realized that was completely false, that narrative needed to be thrown out. And so the piece that I wrote for the Washington Post was really about re-examining that idea, that moms were somehow not as employable, and talking about all of these advocacy skills and how we can take those skills and apply them to a work context, and how in some ways, our unique situations is really leadership training in disguise. And as I've gone along and talked to different moms, they've said, oh my gosh, yes, why haven't I thought about that? I think we need to stop apologizing and start honing and touting the skills that we've gained. Because negotiation, having difficult conversations, organization, oh my goodness, just all the different appointments that you have to do, the management of different, nurses, caregivers, what have you. It just involves a phenomenal amount of leadership. And I think that's something that we really, in our course, narrow in on and try to get moms to think about all the things that they're doing that really make them capable leaders, and apply that not only to work but also to advocacy situations. I mean, you get thrown into this world, and you feel like you're drowning at first.
Absolutely.
You don't know what you're doing.
And from time to time.
You don't have an MD, at least I don't. But I think through the process of being a parent to a child with a special need, special healthcare need, what have you, you learn to be that expert. You learn to, advocate, and those are all things that you should feel proud about.
I love that. I would love for you to maybe write about that for maybe our We Are Brave blog.
Sure.
Because I think moms need to hear that, and they'll hear that when they watch this, of course, as well.